This is the last part to my compact claustrophobia experience, as today I will be finally escaping. Now that I have access to the 9x9x9 room, I can utilize the miniaturization projectors. By placing them down, you are able to create various items with it, and it is how we will be getting the final compact machine. Getting these projectors is actually incredibly easy, costing 2 diamond nuggets, 2 redstone torches, a compact machine wall, and a personal shrinking device. Before I can actually use the miniaturization projectors to their full extent, I first need to build a fully functional nuclear fusion reactor. See, later on I will need neutron fluid, so I decided to work towards that now as opposed to later. To build the fusion reactor requires 2 stacks of fusion electromagnets and a fusion core. Crafting the fusion core costs 4 elite plating, 2 chemical reactors, 2 magnesium diboride solenoids, and a machine chassis. To make elite plating costs 4 boron ingots, 4 crystal binders, and a DU plating. Making the DU plating costs uranium-238, sulfur, and the previously explained advanced plating. Uranium-238 is obtained by putting uranium into an isotope separator at a 1-to-1 ratio. Getting boron ingots is simple, all you do is smelt the boron. And lastly is crystal binders. Crystal binders cost a crushed rhodochrosite, calcium sulfate, crushed obsidian, and magnesium dust. Magnesium you get alongside boron and lithium using the steel pickaxe. Calcium sulfate is obtained by crystallizing calcium sulfate solution, which you get by mixing fluorite water and sulfuric acid. Fluorite water is obtained by mixing fluorite and water. Fluorite is obtained by crushing diorite in a rock crusher. Now, sulfuric acid isn't quite as simple. It requires water and sulfur trioxide, which you get by mixing sulfur dioxide and oxygen. Oxygen you get by separating it in an electrolyzer from water. Getting sulfur dioxide is obtained by mixing sulfur with oxygen. All those steps are needed to make 1 crystal binder. I need 16 of these! Keep in mind this is only for the fusion core. After getting the fusion core, I moved on to getting the 2 stacks of fusion electromagnets, each one costing 4 copper solenoids, which fortunately you can craft 2 at a time, and 4 advanced plating. Since I need 2 stacks, that ends up being 8 stacks of copper solenoids and 8 stacks of advanced plating, which ends up being 16 stacks of copper, 8 stacks of iron, 32 stacks of redstone, 32 stacks of tough alloys, 8 stacks of lead, and 8 stacks of graphite dust. So quite a lot of resource gathering was needed. It was at this point I found out how to get cryotheum. See, by mixing liquid experience and snowballs, it makes 1 blizz powder, and 2 blizz powder makes 2 cryotheum dust. Getting snowballs is easy. Simply just add water to a glacial precipitator and you get snowballs. Getting liquid experience is actually a lot easier than you'd think. If you look at my hotbar, you can see I have experience levels. But how did I manage to get them if I haven't killed anything ever? A little known feature in Minecraft is that every time you get an achievement, you gain a little bit of experience. At no point does it ever state that it's giving you experience, but as you can see here, when I give myself every achievement, it gives me quite a few levels. Then, using the Tome of Knowledge to actually collect that experience and using a fluid extractor on it, I now have liquid experience. And again, mashing that with snowballs gives me blizz powder, which is needed to get cryotheum. See, I had to get cryotheum because it was at this point I realized I couldn't actually power my fusion reactor. You remember those 2 stacks of fusion electromagnets? Well, they all require a bunch of power, 200 RF a tick, to stay active. And I currently do not have a power source that's strong enough for that. Using cryotheum, I can make liquid cryotheum coolers, which is the most efficient cooler in the game. Then, by optimizing the placement of every single cell in my fission reactor, as well as placing coolers in the correct places, I'm able to use a higher quality fuel, which increases my power generation by a substantial amount, without a complete overhaul of my power system, which is enough power to power the fusion reactor. With the 2 stacks of fusion electromagnets, each one of them requires at least 200 RF a tick to stay powered. Since I went through the effort of upgrading my fission reactor, I am able to generate enough power to keep this thing powered. Then, by mixing lithium-6 and boron-11, I am able to make neutron fluid, saving this neutron fluid for later uses. Remember that miniaturization projector I mentioned earlier? That is used to get the maximum compact machine. Since I can't get the projector to fit in a large enough space to give me the 5x5x5 area to make something, I am instead stuck with the 3x3x3. Until I get the maximum compact machine, as that is the minimum size required in order to get the 5x5x5 field. Getting a maximum compact machine costs 6 glitched giant machines, and each glitched giant machine is obtained by throwing a stack of poop onto a glitched machine. Getting each giant machine costs 6 giant large machines, which only cost 32 poop to be thrown onto those, so grinding out all 36 total large machines, duplicating poop using pulped bioblend, I now had enough glitched large machines to continue. Oh, and pulped bioblend costs a sawdust and 3 pulped biomass, which are both obtained by throwing various items into the sawmill. Now, you might have seen a crucial detail I am yet to specify. Every time you make a compact machine in a miniaturization field, it costs 1 ender pearl, or an unfamiliar item as the game calls it. Which, to get those, you use the same miniaturization field, using 26 obsidian, a block of redstone, and a redstone dust. How in the world am I going to get that many ender pearls? Well, simply put, I just need 1. Now that I'm at this point, I can now make the crucible, which, when there's a heating element underneath it, it will automatically turn cobblestone into lava. Then it just came down to setting up a contraption to where it is constantly funneling into a barrel with water constantly on top and a hopper beneath. As for cobblestone, I've had a cobblestone generator making all my cobblestone since ever. Once this contraption was made, I AFK'd for a bit, came back with a chest full of obsidian. As for the redstone, I still had a bunch from before. With that, I was able to make a bunch of ender pearls, make giant machines, glitch the giant machines, and make the massive compact machine, the largest compact machine available, and the one that is able to hold the high impact compactor. To make the high impact compactor, it costs a machine controller, 56 superconducting electromagnets, 20 compact machine walls, 108 fission reactor casing, 13 cryostabilized flux ducts, 8 superlaminar fluid ducts, 8 tritium lamps, an ultimate energy input hatch, a vacuum fluid input hatch, 8 impulse item ducts, a tiny item input, a tiny item output, and a maximum compact machine. A massive list I am aware of, however a lot of these materials have been seen before or aren't overly difficult to craft. Everything was going well crafting all these items, all the way until I reached the ultimate energy input hatch. See, it costs slime balls, which you get from uncrafting a slime block. To get a slime block requires putting a mushroom, which is obtainable through the miniaturization field, into a bucket of milk. How in the confined world am I going to get a bucket of milk, you may be wondering? No, creatures aren't able to spawn, well, normally. See, everyone knows you can go into creative mode whenever and use spawn eggs to spawn whatever you want. What if I told you there was a way to get them in here? To get the cow egg, you use the miniaturization field. That's right, it's back again. But to actually make it, it costs a bunch of dyed wool, which is super easy to obtain. However, it costs throwing an egg to get it started. An egg. The thing that chickens drop. So, before we can get a cow, we need to get a chicken, which fortunately is also just a bunch of wool, but this time an ender pearl thrown into the mix. Making the egg before the chicken, placing a chicken, waiting for it to lay an egg, I was then able to get a cow spawn egg, milk the cow, and get myself a slime block. With everything now obtained to get the high impact compactor up and running, I got to building. Once made and powered, the first thing I did was throw a bunch of HOP ingots in to make a bunch of diamond nuggets. Then I used those diamond nuggets to get my first ever diamonds, and with them my first ever diamond pickaxe. See, the diamond pickaxe is the key to getting out of here. It has a 1.04% chance to get more diamond nuggets, which effectively gives you infinite diamond pickaxes. However, it has a much more important 0.069% chance to drop a bedrock chunk, which for anyone wondering, Google says is a 55,517 divided by 800,000 chance. I need 27 bedrock chunks, which when you do the theoretical math of it being around a 1 in 1450 chance, it's almost 1 diamond pickaxe per bedrock chunk. Fortunately, you can get coal chunks from diamond pickaxes, so using the insane amount of coal from every single pickaxe, I was able to make more pickaxes, and with that, finally be able to get all of my bedrock chunks. Throwing that into the high impact compactor gave me my needed bedrock. Using diamonds instead of sticks, I made my first and only ever bedrock pickaxe. I can finally leave this compact machine and mine out. The bedrock that once confined me is now able to be broken, and with this, I'm now free, able to walk through the village that was next to me this entire time, and mine my first ever log from a natural tree. And with that, my adventure through compact claustrophobia comes to a close. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider subscribing, I guess. I really don't know what to do here. I kind of just want an excuse to play Minecraft really slowly. I mean, this is like 2 minutes each recording of Minecraft, and like I'm doing this after I finish editing each and every video. So it's not just I played Minecraft for however long this world is going to take to beat just in one session. I just finished Compact Claustrophobia Part 3, and yeah, next up is going to be a Pokemon video, I think. I don't know, man. I don't, because I am great at speech, man. It's been a minute since I've done this. So I feel like my thoughts are that I'm kind of just gonna do whatever I feel like, because like I enjoy editing videos, I enjoy recording videos. I just, why is it like, okay, it is moving. It looked like it was just always the same time of day. I enjoy making videos and most of the parts of the video. It's just that I don't want to ever feel like I am obligated to. Like, I want this to stay being just a hobby, and that's never going to be the case if I feel obligated to do something. So, yeah, videos might take a little bit longer than I'd like to come out, but I mean, like, whatever. I mean, this is just for fun, and I forgot to make bread. And yeah. So if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, consider liking, I don't know, comment something. Comment how well your day's been going. And if it's been going bad, hopefully it's better now. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.